Welcome back to Deadpool, right here at Comicstorian, where we take some of your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues and we break those down into digestible bites, allowing you to understand what is going on in your favorite comic books so that you know what storylines to go pick up at your local comic book store. Today we're going to be covering Deadpool issues 2 through 4, and to understand what's going on here, you only really need to know that Deadpool became the king of the monsters and the king of Staten Island. I'll explain that a little bit better at the start of our storyline, but today's video is brought to you by Fortnite. Thanks to Epic Games for sponsoring this video. Season 4, Nexus War, just released in Fortnite, and now is the perfect time to jump back in. If you haven't downloaded Fortnite already, use my tracking link in the description down below to download Fortnite for free. You've probably heard about Fortnite before. I mean, come on, are you living under a rock? But in case you haven't, Fortnite is a free-to-play battle royale PvP game with 100 players dropped onto an island to build and fight to become the last one standing. Fortnite is free to download on PC, PS4, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and mobile devices, and the new season Nexus War has begun with Galactus on his way to destroy the world. This season, we'll get to play as awesome Marvel heroes and villains, and you know I'm going to be there to get those characters. Those who purchase the Fortnite Seasonal Battle Pass will be able to stop him as one of the many major Marvel characters like Iron Man, Wolverine, Storm, Groot, She-Hulk, Doctor Doom, Mystique, and the Amnesiac Thor. And not only have these heroes and villains arrived on the island, but also they've got some of their iconic locations such as Doom's Domain, the Sentinel Graveyard, and more. I'm super excited for this new season as I'll get to play some of my favorite characters with some of the greatest designs such as Donny Cates' Thor. I'm looking forward to stopping Galactus this season. Are you? Go download Fortnite for free using our link in the description down below, and I'll see you in the battlefield. And there you have it, guys. Sponsored by Fortnite with their Marvel promotion, we're going to bring you Deadpool. Here's issues 2 through 4 of the 2019 run. So when we last left off with Deadpool, he was taken by a mysterious man by the name of Braylox to kill the king of the monsters that took over Staten Island. To make sure he did, Braylock also employed Elsa Bloodstone, monster hunter extraordinaire. The two managed to defeat this king of the monsters, but it came at a price. Deadpool became the new king of the monsters, as well as the king of Staten Island. And everything was going okay, sort of. But that's when Deadpool's advisor, Bellis, was murdered by Kraven the Hunter. And now Kraven sets his sights on the new monster island to prove his worth. So being the king is kinda weird, and we all know that, but what better way to get social acceptance from your monster populace than to advertise it? That's why Deadpool's promoting the new and improved Staten Island to be the place where monsters and humans can live in peace. Mostly. Residents and visitors can enjoy their innovative green initiatives, like a monster that eats all your garbage, or better yet, fart monsters that absorb gas produced by said garbage monster. Which is why their progressive initiatives make the new island the perfect place to live, work, and play. Need to take a boat across the pond? Look no further than our new monster ferry. Cheaper, faster, and greener than the original ferries. Also, way more fun! Sure, it's slightly more dangerous, but who wants to live forever? Take a risk, everyone! As filming ramps up on the commercial for the day, Deadpool meets with his war council, consisting of Thurgo, son of Orgo, the Uncontrollable, Corian, the Alien, Collab, the Pile, Bun Bun the Destroyer, and Nightwolf, the, Nightwolf. Their job is to find Bellis. However, that proves to be difficult because unbeknownst to them, Bellis was killed by Kraven. The next day, Deadpool gathers this monster crew to do some more shoots when a voice calls out asking if he really put an online vote on what to name the island. And the highest vote is Islandy McIslandface. Deadpool quietly tells himself that he really hopes that that's not Cap, but of course, it is. Could I have a moment of your time, Wade? There's something I'd like to discuss. This whole thing, you being the king of Staten Island, aka king of monsters, it's a powder keg waiting to go off. And when it goes bad, a lot of innocent people are going to get killed. Deadpool tells him, you meant to say people and monsters, right, Cap? Innocent people and monsters. Sure, it's easy for you humans to want to protect humans, but what about me? Remember what I am. Cap tells him, that is not what I meant. We don't have to be on opposite sides of this. We can work together, Wade. And Deadpool tells him, yeah, nah, I'm the king of these monsters. And if the other side wants a war, then we're gonna give them a war, buddy. Probably some innocent civilians are gonna get hurt in a war between humans and monsters, but really, it's totally your call. Cap looks at Deadpool right in the eyes. That is not how this has to be. But do try and keep the situation under control, or it's going to get messy, Deadpool. Deadpool tells him, my whole life is messy. Doesn't mean it ain't worthwhile. But anyways, we should probably escort you back to the other side. We have a teleporter here. We call him Hurl. We call him that because the process is gross as hell. So you'll want to hurl when you get home. Don't forget to write. The giant pink monster named Hurl looms over Cap and then vomits all over him, covering him in pink goo. As the goo begins to contract, before they know it, Cap disappears. Nightwolf quietly says, oh my god. And Deadpool asks, what? It's not that bad. Besides, Cap's got a better sense of humor than people think. But as Deadpool looks back, he sees a mob of dead monsters and the words, who's the king now, written on the wall. Kraven sits up, telling him, I've been trying to get the attention of the king for a few days now. Perhaps I was being too subtle about it. Is this direct enough? Chet, the only human on the War Council, and the only human unfortunately named Chet in our story, asks, wasn't Kraven killed? Deadpool tells him, yeah, but this is the new guy, son of Kraven or whatever. Apparently he thinks he's going to make a name for himself on our little island. But that's not gonna happen. Kraven tells him, that is a bold statement considering how you've already lost a dozen of your people. But now it is time to take the king's head. As everyone chases down Kraven, a trap is sprung, capturing most of the War Council while also firing off dozens of tranq darts. Deadpool pulls one out of his head, telling him, oh man, that's the good stuff. Medical grade tranquilizer, right there. Nobody let that crap hit Chet. Might kill him. But how is it 8-on-1 and we're still losing? Most of my team, along with most of Collab, is stuck in a net. Also, Collab, the whole thing about you being made out of dozens of tiny man babies, you need to change that. Whenever I look at you, all I see is butts. It's getting awkward. But while the monsters in the trap struggle, the net snaps, dropping them all back to the ground. Deadpool pulls himself out of the pile, stating, it's just like everything in my life. That could have gone better. But where were we? But before Deadpool can finish that, he notices a spear headed straight for Jeff the Land Shark. He quickly throws himself in front of the spear to take the hit. And Kraven tells him, I've come here to kill monsters. But when I found out that you were leading monsters, well, that's a whole different kind of monster. Kraven lifts Deadpool off the ground, but from across the way, Elsa Bloodstone looks down her rifle, telling him, I'm sorry that it had to come to this, but I'm really out of options here. She pulls the trigger, hitting Deadpool in the head, and with a bright green flash, Deadpool disappears. As Kraven escapes, Elsa checks in with everyone, asking if they're all right, while Nightwolf asks if they're supposed to believe that she cares. She just shot their king in the head. Elsa sighs. It's fine. I didn't kill anyone. I saved him. In fact, he should be here in 2, 1. At that moment, Deadpool is spit out of a dimension covered in a black goo, asking, what the hell was that? You know what? Who cares? Whoever did that is going to die. Elsa tells him, come on, I saved you. And Deadpool asks, from what? A knife? I'm Deadpool. I'm not afraid of a knife. Now, what I am afraid of is whatever tar-filled, formless hell dimension you just sent me to. Now, where the hell is Kraven? But as he finishes, another trap is sprung and Bun Bun burns through the net while another wave of tranq darts come flying out. Cronian shields everyone while taking a majority of the darts, but Deadpool asks, are you gonna be alright? Cronian gives him thumbs up and Deadpool says, you ain't much of a talker, huh? Nightwolf explains that Cronian is a mute. He understands everything they say, but he cannot speak. Deadpool gets back up, telling everyone that they need to rethink their strategies, all except Elsa Bloodstone. She needs to get the hell off my island and stop coming back. All you bring are problems. But before long, another spear is thrown, with Deadpool quickly grabbing one of his swords to chop it in half before it hits Nightwolf. A second one is thrown, with Jeff the Land Shark jumping up and chomping down on it before it hits Deadpool. Nightwolf calls out to everyone that Kraven is beginning to focus on their king. We will protect you at all costs. Deadpool tells them, you guys know I'm an assassin, right? I don't need you to protect me from anything. Which is why we're gonna retreat. Collab here has the ability to open portals, right? One of the man babies leans out, stating, yes, but I hate it. Going through another monster's hole is so personal. A butt-shaped portal slowly begins to open up, and everyone begins to jump through. Before Nightwolf enters, he asks Deadpool, you'll be right behind us, right? Deadpool tells him, totally! Also, never trust anyone that says totally. He kicks Collab to shut the portal, leaving himself alone to face off against Kraven the Hunter. As Collab disappears, Deadpool calls out to Kraven, all right, now that the can of fodder is gone, it's time for us to fight man to man. Kraven leaps down from the wall with Deadpool laughing, ha! You're so dumb! You had the advantage up until now. Also, why are you using a spear? That's just like so dumb. Kraven swings the spear, cutting into Deadpool's throat so that he can't talk, and tells him, "That should shut you up for a bit." He then lunges with the spear, but as he misses, Deadpool kicks him in the face and jumps up into the air. Before Deadpool could strike, Kraven spins back, stabbing into Deadpool, tossing him aside. The two go back and forth, punching and hitting each other, and then they manage to stab each other and they both fall to the ground. Kraven gets back up, pulling the sword out with Deadpool coughing. Ouch! Ouch so much! Okay, I can talk again! There are so many things I could have said! A true tragedy. Deadpool throws a fistful of snow into Kraven's face, with Kraven asking, "Really? That's a coward's trick." Deadpool continues to throw more snowballs, telling him, "It's a savvy strategy for a guy who's fought nearly everyone on Earth and lived." He then takes out his sword, jumping into the air, telling Kraven, "And this is where it ends. The hunter becomes the hunted." As Deadpool slams down, he stabs into Kraven over and over and over and over and over again. He jumps back up, telling him, "All right, that was a bunch of stabby stabs. How does bootleg Kraven like me now?" Kraven answers back by kicking Deadpool in the head so hard that there's a loud crunch. Deadpool stumbles back, asking, "Did you just dislodge my eyeball? Okay, we're good. Let's go back to..." But just then, Kraven takes out one of Deadpool's swords, slicing off his arm. Deadpool responds as anyone would. "Come on!" Kraven gets ready to attack again, but Deadpool jumps onto his head, leaping towards the top of the wall. While crawling up with his one arm, Deadpool tells him, "And I have the high ground!" Also, your dad, Kraven Sr. or whatever, he wasn't that great. Terrible guy, really. Kraven follows Deadpool up onto the ledge, but as he goes to attack, Deadpool takes his one good arm, grabbing Kraven's head and slamming it into his knee. He then pushes him off, telling him, "You're not the only one with traps!" But as Deadpool follows, Kraven charges in, grabbing him by the head, throwing Deadpool to the ground. Kraven then brings the sword to Deadpool's neck, telling him, "It's time we ended this little game." And Deadpool asks him, "Really? Because I could still go for a little bit longer. You know, since I'm the one with the army." At that moment, Zurgo charges in, slamming Kraven into the wall. Kraven pulls out his knife, stabbing into Zurgo, asking, "Must I fight underlings? So be it." The rest of the War Council runs in, getting their hits in where they can. Collab begins to walk up and breaks apart into a horde of man-babies. They all start to chase after Kraven, but as Kraven gets ahead, he pushes a button and captures most of Collab. Kraven then scoffs, stating, "You are all fools." And then an arrow hits him right in the chest. He looks up to see Chet. Chet tells him, "You seem to have some vulnerable bits, huh?" As everyone piles onto Kraven, everyone can hear a hissing sound. Gas slowly begins to spread through the crowd, and Kraven stands back up with a rebreather. "Ah, you all fought well. The Wolfman's pelt will have a place of honor on my wall. Or person." Deadpool jumps in, kicking Kraven back, telling him, "No! Nightwolf's pelt belongs to me!" And Kraven laughs, "Ha ha! You are a coward! Too afraid to fight one-on-one." And Deadpool tells him, "Nah, I'm just smart enough to know if you got an army, use it." Kraven laughs even louder. "Your army can barely stand! What are you going to do?" And Deadpool asks, "Who said this was the only army I built?" At that moment, a Kraken bursts out of the frozen pond and begins speaking in its monster language. And Deadpool tells them, "Yes, you can eat him." The Kraken lashes out as it grabs Kraven, and Nightwolf tells him that this plan is rather clever. As Deadpool looks down with the Kraken leaving with Kraven, he says, "I want to make a joke here or something, but all I can think about is that we have to go bury Bellis." So a few days later, Deadpool holds a service for the monsters lost in the battle, stating that he was dumb enough to think that being a monster makes you immune to death. It has made him realize that he must return to his old apartment that smells like feet. Elsa picks up the crown that Deadpool left on Bellis' grave, stating that he knows better than most what a violent world they live in. Horrible things happen, and as a leader, it is his job to carry that weight and do a better job next time. Deadpool hugs Jeff, stating, "You should wear it." And Elsa tosses it, telling him, "Oh, she sure as hell ain't doing that. Stop being a baby about it. No one thinks you can do this, so why not prove them wrong? It'll be a great way to get back at them all." So Deadpool catches the crown, telling her, "Yeah, you know what? You're right, but I still hate you." Meanwhile, in Alaska, maybe, the Kraken that ate Kraven breaks out of the ice. It begins to flail about as Kraven is flung from the top, ripping off one of its tentacles. The Kraken then begins to escape, with Kraven telling it, "That's right, run. You wanted an enemy, well, an enemy you shall have. I will not rest until I kill Deadpool, the unkillable man." And there you have it, the new direction for Deadpool. Now, we had to put this comic book on hold simply because it got delayed because of the COVID-19 situation. But don't worry, guys, it's running like normal now. I'm still a massive Deadpool fan, and I'm actually really interested in this King of the Monsters Staten Island thing because, simply put, it's a new idea for Deadpool. It's not just him going, goofy, destroy Marvel superheroes, or I'm really serious, here's my sad history. Both of which I love, but this is a new direction, something totally different, and I'm really enjoying it. Let me know what you think about this different direction for Deadpool, the King of the Monsters idea, down below. And don't forget to hit subscribe and hit that like button if you so choose to help support our channel. And I'll see you next time right here.